own, and that all was meant for human individual who was regarded as the crown of creation, and therefore he was the most significant unit of life on earth. A new sense of life, of glory dawned. The Elizabethans lived in an era when bliss was in that dawn to be alive, and to be young was very heaven. W. H. Hudson remarks, an appetite for literature was thus
Ma'am, your
fostered.
sound is
Um, li- Now, to hear me,
ma'am, your sound is again echoing.
Ma'am, it's
Hello, ma'am.
echoing, but
Madam,
it's
sorry to disturb
understandable.
you, but your voice is not clear.
am I understandable to you?
Yes, ma'am. Requested to you, please change the room.
Okay. Then wait a minute. I change the room.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, from beginning till now, you are not audible. From beginning till now, you are not audible clearly.
Okay, then I'll change the room. Maybe you are then audible to me. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Your
Sir,
voice
your
is very
voice
much
is
clear.
clear, sir.
Your voice
Sir,
is
your
very
voice
much
is
clear,
more
sir.
disturbed than anyone.
There is no problem with your voice.
Am I audible now? You are able to hear me?
Still same.
All of you are able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
are I'm audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Should I continue?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
So, we are Renaissance and Reformation. Okay, so W. H. Hudson remarks an appetite for literature was thus fostered and an immense impetus given to the sense of beauty and everything that made for the enrichment of life. So, in this particular period, life was enriched. Life reached to an enrichment. It attained an enrichment in life. The literature was enriched in this period. Humanism gave birth to individualism and worldliness. The ancient Hellenic view was centered on the present world rather than on some future one. It was an individualistic view which is expressed in ancient Greek literature. The result of this individualism was that men did not at all care for authority. They were free in making their own decisions. This unbounded freedom found expression in the plays of Marlowe. During the Elizabethan period, under the influence of humanism, stress was laid on the qualities which distinguished human beings from another and gave an individuality and uniqueness in human personality. Shakespeare is the greatest student of human nature. I told you just now that when you read Shakespeare about Shakespeare, then you will find that through his plays, he has given us many shades of human behavior. In the early ages, he wrote only tragic plays. Then in the Middle Ages, he wrote tragic comedies. And in the later period, he wrote only comedy. So Shakespeare, the greatest student of human nature, minutely depicts the individual qualities of his characters and vividly reveals the psychic states. The Renaissance men had the insatiable hunger for gaining all the experiences that the world had offered. The plays of Marlowe, the poetry of Spencer, and the prose of Bacon are the finest expressions of individualism during this era. The sonnet and the blank verse were the two important meters which were used with artistic excellence in Shakespearean England. Various poetic genres, right legues, in which the ancients and the moderns had one distinction: pastoral, epics, comedies, history, and philosophy were successfully and skillfully attempted. So all these aspects of writing, were attempted in this particular era. The Renaissance also fostered the spirit of questioning of rational and scientific quest for truth. Reason, wedded to liberty and a sense of responsibility, flouted authority if it obstructed the free development of human personality. This marks the beginning of scientific outlook. Make an appeal to the reason of man. Hello, are you able to hear me? All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you
Yes,
audible?
ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Be patient. Okay?
No
Yes,
problem.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Making an appeal to the reason of man became the ideal of many writers. Bacon is the high priest of this attitude. He was the first rational thinker who was inspired with the Boston age of commanding the whole of knowledge. He declared, I am an encyclopedia of learning. In an era of superstition and ignorance, Bacon believed that the right way was the way of observation and experiment. First, let us collect the data by diligent research and then rearrange it into a well digested audit from which we may formulate axioms. Bacon believed that we should be a questioning person. We should, whatever we are not knowing, we should question and then derive to an derive to a height. This will serve as a stepping stone to new experiments from which we may procure new facts. Bacon's ideas have a forward looking quality. He himself said about his pioneering role in the promotion of scientific and rational thought. Ben Jonson, the renowned dramatist, also represents the rational aspect of Renaissance. He was a realist and satirist who exposed the rugged follies and time's deformity anatomized in every nerve and sinew. With a view of reforming society and introducing sanity, rationality, and balance in man and in morals and manners. Renaissance and Reformation are two inseparable movements because they Renaissance and Reformation they go side by side. Marlowe is supposed to be the child of Renaissance and Spencer of Reformation. They are the epitome of these two periods. W.H. Hudson states, while the Renaissance aroused the intellect and aesthetic faculties, the Reformation awakened the spiritual nature. The same printing presses which diffused the knowledge of classics put the English Bible into the hands of the people, and the spread of an earnest in religion was inevitably accompanied by a deepening of moral earnestness. So the printing of presses made possible more and more Bibles to be printed, and everybody had their own Bible. So it was a sort of liberalization of religion in the period of Reformation. Reformation may be briefly explained as the religious movement arising out of the revolt of Martin Luther against Pope's supremacy and the consequent establishment by him of a new and reformed church founded on scriptural authority. The consequences produced by the conjunction of Renaissance and Reformation resulted in the emergence of a new spirit of nationalism, repudiation of pan-European papal authority, the growth of development of national languages, and ultimately the growth of development of Puritanism. Puritanism means religious, deep religiousness. The combined product of humanism and Puritanism is called Christian humanism, in which the worldliness of Christianity was modified by the individualistic emphasis on humanism. Spencer and Minton represent the Christian humanism. They were influenced both by Renaissance and Reformation. Reformation encouraged the writing of theological prose, which influenced the development of English prose. Wycliffe, the morning star of Reformation, and William Tyndale contributed significantly to the evolution of English prose. It was due to Reformation that the Bible influenced all theological writing and gave English prose a literary tone. The authorized version of the Bible, which came out in the year 1611, left an imperishable mark on the evolution of English language and literature. S.A. Brooke points out theological reform stirred men to another kind of literary work. A great number of polemical ballads, pamphlets, and plays issued every year from Oxford Press had filled the land. Poets like Coleridge, Gascoigne, and still more Barnaby, Ratchet represent in their work the young men and the old religious system. It was the spirit which did not do much for literature, but quickened the habit of composition and made it easier. The era of Renaissance marks the real beginning of a very high order of literature. The enrichment of English language facilitates the development of literature. The literature of this period is romantic. The romantic quest is for the remote, the wonderful. Days, Edward Albert Sale, and the beautiful. All these desires were abundantly fed during the Elizabethan age, which is our first and greatest romantic epoch. In the other hand, there was a revolt against the past, whose grasp was too feeble to hold and restrain the lusty youth of the Elizabethan age. On the other hand, there was a daring and resolute spirit of adventure in literature, as well as on other regions. The more important of all, there was unmistakably voice of freshness in the strong wind of the spirit was the ardent youth of English literature, and the achievement was worthy of it. Any of one of you have any question? You can put your question.
Ma'am, what is the difference between Renaissance and Enlightenment?
Renaissance is enlightenment. Okay? Because the beauty was started from time immemorial. The whole world is very beautiful. But Renaissance opened the eyes of the people that they were able to understand the beauty which was scattered all around, and the scriptures which was written way back. They were known to the public during the Renaissance period. That's why it is said that it is the rebirth or revival of literature. because the literature which was written in Greece, Rome, it gave a new light was given to it, a new fervor was given to it, a new fragrance was added to it. So Renaissance means revival. The thing which was present before, which was now it was revived. It was present in a new manner to everyone, and it was popularized to everyone. I'll give you a simple example. You will be able to understand it by this. Yogic science had been India has been the origin of yogic science. Okay, but till a few decades back, it was confined to the books only. But now everyone knows about yoga. You know about yoga, I know about yoga, and how it's useful to us or everyone. So it was this time that literature reached its height, the Elizabethan period and the Victorian period. They are said to be the golden age of the English literature because literature in every field reached its height in this particular period. Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Ma'am, is Renaissance concerned with only English literature or societal change in the Britain?
Of course, society unchanged. Literature, actually, every writer reflects the society to which he or she belongs. Agree?
Okay,
Every
ma'am.
writer, whether he is a novelist, whether he is a poet, whether he is a short story writer, he reflects the society to which he belongs or she belongs. So Renaissance is nature itself because the poet, all in the writers in every sphere, they had been expressing themselves, the beauty scattered around them.
Okay.
Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Ma'am, what were the writers of Renaissance?
The main writers of the Renaissance period, um, whether the first I'll mention you the uh, persons who influenced them. The writers were influenced by the Greek scholars, and the Greek scholars were Homer, Aeschylus, Euripides, Sophocles, Thucydides, Herodotus, Plato, Aristotle, Demosthenes. Okay, and Shakespeare is the मतलब Shakespeare is the uh, he covers the that canvas for most of the period. Okay, and Surrey, Thomas Wyatt, Henry Howard, Earl of Surrey, they are the major writers of the Renaissance period.
Ma'am, what was the secularism in Renaissance?
Secularism, you can take this Renaissance period itself as a secularism because it took everything from, it took the best from everything. Secularism always teaches that we should take the best from everything. So Renaissance itself stands for secularism because it took the best from wherever it got. So Renaissance itself is secularism.
Ma'am, what was the conclusion of Renaissance?
Conclusion of Renaissance was that beauty reached its height. Beauty of literature reached its height. Okay, because
Okay, ma'am.
with the advent of the printing presses and all, so everything the people started getting educated, and that's why the masses were able to read and enjoy the literature of that period.
Ma'am, what were the changes in education during Renaissance period?
This is what I told you just now, that the changes during the Renaissance period is that the people got themselves educated. Okay, and educated people have a different scenario to look at things because you are educated. You are not a superstitious person at all. If anyone says that don't travel towards south in on Tuesday, but you'll never do because you are educated. It brought an end to superstition. Renaissance because it is supposed to be an era of enlightenment. Okay, so superstition and all they were discarded in this age. So it was a sort of enlightenment to the masses. The Renaissance age is a sort of enlightenment to the masses, to the people.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, when did it achieve full maturity in England?
Hello?
Yes.
Ask the question one by one.
Ma'am, what was the court in
Huh.
shaping English Renaissance literature?
Hema Singh, repeat your question once again, better. Reema
What,
Singh?
what was the role of court in the shaping of English Renaissance literature?
Ode were not written then, beta. मतलब ode came in the 18th century. Okay? So odes were not written then in that period.
Ma'am, role of ma'am, huh.
See, every court has its courtiers. Understand? And the Renaissance was an advent of enlightenment. Enlightenment. So all the courtiers, because they were very educated, so the the queen also was an it gave it aided the writers and because the people of the court were educated, the court it has a very key place in the history of England. The court of Elizabeth has a very key place in the because it rose to a height in that period, in the Renaissance period. It rose to a height in the Renaissance period.
Ma'am, what was the need of Ma'am Renasa?
What is the
Ma'am, what was the need of Renasa?
naturally because anything which was it discarded the medieval thinking. So Renaissance, anything when age-old customs are not if you're not satisfied with the age-old customs, then you discard them. So the Renaissance people discarded the medievalism and they came into the entered the sphere with a new thought, and that's why this was the need of Renaissance because you can not carry with the age-old customs and all. So every change is it is just everything changes. It is nature that it's everything changes. So the need of Renaissance was that the age-old customs were discarded and the new customs were to be accepted by the people and by the enlightened ones also.
Ma'am, relation between Renaissance and Reformation.
Relation between Renaissance and Reformation is that Renaissance is enlightenment, okay, and Reformation with the advent of the printing presses. I told you just now that um, everyone could possess a Bible because with the printing presses, more and more of Bible were printed, and everyone could possess a Bible and they can go through it. They could go through it because prior to that, the Bibles were kept in the churches, and people used to go to the church and read the Bible over there. But with the discovery of the printing presses, the Bible was made popular to everyone. Everyone could possess the Bible. They could go through it. So, um, uh, religion reformation means an expansion of religion.
Ma'am, what was the causes of Reformation?
Reformation because Pope had the Pope was the decisive deciding element. Whatever Pope decided, everyone had to follow. So that's why the Pope's monopoly was to be brought down, and this was the reason of Reformation. And this was why Reformation came into existence.
Ma'am, who first used
And
the
Reformation.
term?
Beta, ask your question one by one. Ashish, you ask your question, beta.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of Renaissance and Reformation?
I've been repeating this since the beginning of the class. Renaissance means enlightenment. Okay? Keep it in mind because these things are going to be asked to you in your examination. Renaissance means enlightenment, revival of the age-old glory which was lost in the Roman scriptures, okay, and Italian scriptures. So Renaissance is the age of enlightenment. The glory was restored. The lost glory was restored. And Reformation means expansion of religion. Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And Abhishek, you asked a question, beta. Abhishek asked a question.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, who first used the term Renaissance?
Moody and Lovett have given they have described the Renaissance. For example, they have said that Renaissance means intellectual rebirth, okay, which showed itself in the efforts of the individual to free himself from the rigid institution of the Middle Ages, feudalism, and the church. Moody and Lovett remarks that, and to assert his right to live, to think, and to express himself in accordance with a more flexible secular code. So, Moody and Levitt had described what Renaissance actually means and how people wanted to live and they could attain that freedom during Renaissance. I'll let you know. Who had coined this term Renaissance? I personally don't know, but I'll let you know in my next class, which is on Monday. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
I have a class on classic. I have made a modification in the topic. I'll be taking the class according to the topic which is asked to you in the examination. Okay, my class with you is on Monday. Okay. Now, anyone else who has to ask any question?
Ma'am, why did the Protestants
Ma'am, what were the
Shikha?
changes in literature during Renaissance period?
I told you just now, beta, that the change which came to the literature, that it reached its height. It gained a maturity. The writings of the writings of the writers gained a maturity in the Renaissance period, and it reached its height.
Ma'am, why did Protestant Reformation happen?
Excuse me?
Ma'am, why did the Protestant Reformation happen?
Protest?
Ma'am, protest.
Protest? I'm not following you, beta.
Ma'am, why did the Protestant Reformation happen?
Protest information. I'm not getting it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks. Thank you everyone for joining me. And my next
Thank
class
you,
is
ma'am.
on
Thank you,
Monday.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, ma'am.
So we can adjust.
in history.
Thank you. Thank, thank you very much,
Good morning, ma'am.
Sanket. Good morning,
Good morning, ma'am.
Sanket.
Good morning,
Good morning, ma'am. Yeah, I wish good
Good
morning to
morning,
all
ma'am.
of
Good
you
morning,
together.
ma'am.
To
Good
all of
morning,
you
ma'am.
together. Yes, I can see some known faces. So thank you, Sanket. I know you will have always good words for me because you have been one of my favorite students. But okay, let's see what are we going to do today. We had completed up to stanza 16 yesterday. And in given time, I try to maximize the things and I would love to complete this poem. So good morning to all of you. And again, I would like to draw your attention first to one thing I had requested yesterday to have your textbooks open. Stanza number 17. Because we'll move from stanza number
Okay,
17.
ma'am.
Good. I know most of you may be having your textbooks before you. And I'm sure today your learning will be much better with the textbook before you. And the second thing I again want you to remember is that the entire poem is so well connected with the previous stanza that unless I connect you with the previous stanza today also, we won't get that flow. So in order to get that flow, in order to understand the mood of the characters, by now we are introduced to all the characters of the poem. So we have to understand their temperament, their mood, their nature. And for that, we had seen a very angry Angela in the previous stanza, in stanza number 16. She said to Porphyro, "Go, go, I deem thou canst not surely be the same that thou didst seem. You seem to me to be a very nice person, very gentle person, very good person. But what I notice now, you are a very wicked and mean person." So she is mad with Porphyro. I told you, Porphyro has been portrayed by John Keats as a very playful character, as a very naughty character. So he understands the psychology of Angela. He knows that she's angry. So he changed, in order to change the mood of Angela, see what he's saying in stanza number 17. So let's all concentrate. So your eyes on the book and let me read it first and briefly I'll explain. "I will not harm her by all saints, I swear," quoth Porphyro. "Oh, may I never find grace when my weak voice shall whisper its last prayer. If one of her soft ringlets I displace, or look with ruffian passion in her face, good Angela, believe me by these tears. Or," this "or" is very dangerous, "or I will even in a moment's space awake with horrid shout my foemen's ears, and beard them, though they may be more fanged than wolves and bears." So what is he doing? What is he saying? He's trying to appease Angela. He says, "I will not harm her. Please take me, Angela, to her. I assure you, I promise you, I will not do any harm to her. By all saints, I'm swearing this. In name of all saints, I'm saying this. I'm not going to harm her," said Porphyro. And then he says, "If I ever do that, if I do it, I should not find grace. Even after my death, I should not get salvation if I'm saying something wrong." Now see how playful he is. We know after a few stanzas, you will realize what he is saying, he'll go opposite. Yet, in order to convince Angela, he's saying he will not harm her, he will not do anything wrong there, only she should take him to the chamber of Madeline. When my weak voice shall whisper the last prayer, when I'll be saying my last prayer, that time also I should not be pardoned by saints, God, Christ, if I do anything wrong to her. Not a single ringlet, which are the curls of the hair, I'm not even going to displace it. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to remove it from its place. I will not look at her with any ruffian passion, with any wrong intention, with bad malice. No, I'm not going to do anything wrong there. I just want to have a glimpse of her. Believe me, Angela, for that I want to go. And then he says, so see how you really feel like laughing sometime at the way he is beseeching, the way he is telling Angela. He says, good Angela, believe me by these tears. Look at the tears that are rolling down my eyes. Do you think I'm telling a lie? I'm very truthful. And then he says, in Hindi we say, Sam Dam Dand Bhe. He is applying all techniques. First, he has tried to appease her. Because she was angry, so he tried to calm her down. And once he feels that is being done, Angela is getting calmed down. Then he says, if you don't take me to her, what will I do, Or I will, even in a moment's space, awake with horrid shout. I'll start shouting on the street. And make sure that everybody knows that I will do that. I will shout so much that let everybody know. And, if that doesn't work also, if I am not killed even after my shouting, with my horrid shout, then I will go and start shouting in the ears of the enemies. मैं अपने दुश्मनों के कान में जाके चिल्लाऊंगा. I'll go and shout there. If they are not angry still, if my enemies are not angry still, then I will beard them. फिर मैं उनकी दाढ़ी को पकड़ के नोचूंगा. I will go and start shaking them, shaking their beards. And I know after that they will be more angry, more ferocious, more wild, than the wolves and the bears. They all will attack on me like wolves and bears. Do you want this, Angela? Do you want me to do this? So please avoid this situation and take me to the chamber of Madeline. Poor thing, poor Angela. After listening to this, she's a well-wisher of Porfido. She genuinely wants that Porfido and Madeline should unite. Now, this kind of blackmailing by Porfido really scares Angela. And see what she says in the following stanza. And the following stanza, I told you, I've been telling you since last 2 days. It's a beautiful description of the youth and aged person. How the attitude, the angle through which a youth handles things, and the attitude and the way, the angle of an old lady. Ah, why wilt thou affright a feeble soul? A poor, weak, palsy-stricken churchyard thing, whose passing bell may err the midnight toll, whose prayers for thee each morn and evening were never missed. Up to these lines are spoken by Angela. Those of you who have the books in front of you, you can notice it is under single inverted comma. Single inverted comma opened with ah and closed at mist. Thus plaining doth she bring a gentler speech from burning Porfido, so woeful and of such deep sorrowing, that Angela gives promise she will do whatever he shall wish, betide her weal or woe. We should not miss the archaic English, the old English. That not only it has got the Spenserian stanza, Keats is very generous in using the archaic words also to suit, these dictions suit the stanza form. W-E-A-L, weal. Now, weal here actually stands for wellness, goodness. Anyway, let's move to the first line of this stanza number 18. Ah, why wilt thou affright a feeble soul? Why are you scaring this weak soul? If you talk in this manner, I'll die just now. Why are you scaring me? I'm a poor, weak, palsy-stricken, paralyzed churchyard thing. I'm a churchyard material. I'm a death material, like that beadsman. So 2 old beadsman and Angela and 2 youth, Madeline and Porfido, whose passing bell may err the midnight toll. Even I may not see the midnight today. Before the midnight, I may die. I'm so old. I'm going to die anytime. And you are scaring me in such a manner? That's not right. That's very wrong. And you know, Porfido, my prayers every morning and every evening, my prayers are for you. I've never missed praying for you. When you know this, that I'm such a well-wisher of yours, yet you are scaring me, yet you are using such words to me, which has really caused so much concern for you. This is not right. So when she says that she prays for him morning and evening, now Porfido thinks now his plans will work. He'll be successful in his mission because she is already very, very, very calmed down now. She is really now ready to listen to Porphyro, whatever Porphyro says. Whatever Porphyro says. Thus planning doth she bring a gentler speech. We get a very gentle speech now from Porphyro. Porphyro also he gets over his anger. That burning Porphyro who was ready to beard the enemies, and also who was ready to go and shout in the ears of the enemies, has started talking in a very gentle manner, so woeful and of such deep sorrow. He knows the trick. So he becomes again very, very polite, very gentle, and he starts talking in such a sad, sorrowful manner to Angela, assures her that he will do nothing wrong, that Angela gives promise. She will do whatever he shall wish, betide her weal or woe, whatever the consequence may be. She's ready to face any consequence, whether it is good for her or bad for her. But she will definitely try to fulfill the wish of Porphyro. So see how dramatic these stanzas are, and we get different moods of the characters, and Porphyro really knows how to pacify Angela. First he frightens her, and thereafter he also pacifies her. Now in stanza 19, what is the plan? What was the strategy given by Porphyro? Which was to lead him in close secrecy, even to Madeline's chamber, and there hide him in a closet of such privacy that he might see her beauty unespied, and win perhaps that night a peerless bride. While Elysian fairies paced the coverlet, and pale enchantment held her sleepy-eyed, never on such a night have lovers met, since Merlin paid his demon all the monstrous debt. The last 4 lines are very important from explanation point of view. I'll explain it in little detail so that you are able to handle the explanation of these last 4 lines. So the initial 4 lines are just the plan to take him in a very close secrecy, very secretly to the Madeline's chamber, and hide him in a closet, hide him in an almirah. And through that almirah, he can get to see Madeline and Madeline's beauty unespied, unseen. He will not be seen by Madeline because he'll be hiding in the closet. And he thinks that night perhaps he's going to win a peerless bride. A matchless wife he will get that night. A peerless bride he's going to get that night. So he should go in the chamber and hide in the closet. And Angela agrees to do so. Now, while Elysian fairies pace the coverlet, look at the imagination, beautiful imagination of the poet John Keats. You know, in vast numbers, the fairies are walking on the coverlet, are walking on the sheet. They are parading. You know, very, very, very divine and spiritual atmosphere. And a supernatural element also you see here, that is the fairies. The fairies are imagined there. And pale enchantment held her sleepy-eyed. I know, she must be dying to sleep. And she's in a very enchanted situation, condition, and she's really waiting for her dream, most cherished, most desired, most coveted dream. And now the story which we get here, please pay attention to the last 2 lines. Never on such a night have lovers met. There is only one incident which has taken place. Now here, Keats is bringing a very ancient story, Arthurian story of Merlin. Who is this Merlin? Merlin was born from a demon and a nice lady, a nice woman. Whenever I talk of Merlin, I am reminded of Prahlad, as if when Prahlad was born of a monster, Hiranyakashipu, and his wife Kayadhu was a very saintly lady. Similarly, this Merlin is also what? Is a son of a demon, and his mother is a nice lady, good woman. And he has learned the magic from his father, the demon, Merlin. And he fell in love with a lady called Vivian. And Vivian knew about the magic of Merlin. And Vivian uses the same magic on her, and he disappears. Both of them disappear in a very stormy night. That's the old story. Now, Merlin and Vivian had disappeared on a very stormy night. Same thing is going to happen with Porfirio and Madeline. They will also disappear on a very stormy night. In a very supernatural Gothic atmosphere, both of them will run away, elope. They will leave the house, and because let us move, let us see what happens, what takes place. So this comparison is very apt of Merlin and Vivian. The same condition is today and that day. Then again, Angela is talking. Again, Angela's full dialogue we will find in the following stanza number 20. It shall be as thou wishest, said the dame. Or I request all of you to remain mute, please, as it is not many students are there. So if you are mute, you can get my voice very clearly. If it shall be as thou wishest. Wishest. Again, this is what does it mean? It shall be as thou wishest. It shall be as you wish. This is the modern English. It shall be as thou wishest, said the dame. All cates and dainties shall be stored there quickly on this feast night. By the tambour frame, her own lute thou wilt see, no time to spare, for I am slow and feeble, and scarce dare on such a catering trust my dizzy head. Wait here, my child. Again, she is calling him my child. And earlier also, she says, follow my child. Here, wait here, my child, with patience. Kneel in prayer, the while, thou must needs the lady wed, or may I never leave my grave among the dead. Beautifully, the last two lines not only rhyme together very nicely, they also sum up the whole idea of that particular stanza beautifully. So, what is Angela saying? Okay, it will be, your wish will be granted by me. I will do as you wish, said the dame. Dame is Angela. But I have lot of work to do. You have really taken a lot of my time. I have got to do so many work now in the chamber of Madeline. All cates and dainties. Now your sense of taste. Ab muh mein pani aane ka time aa gaya. Now the sensuousness starts working again. All cates and dainties shall be stored there. Quickly on this feast night, Madeline also has to, she's observing a fast. She's fasting. She has to eat after that. So all good food items I have to go and display there. All cakes and dainties, all sweets and all cakes, everything I have to go and display there. I have to store there. By the tambour frame, her own lute thou wilt see. And you will see the lute of flute, jisko bansuri kehte hain. You will find near the tambour frame of Madeline. in that chamber. Tambour frame is like a drum-shaped table where embroideries, etc. are done. So there near that you will find her own lute. No time to spare. I'm now, I can't even spend a minute with you. I have no time to spare, for I am slow and feeble. I'm weak and slow, and scarce dare on such a catering trust my dizzy head. I can't trust my head now. I'm forgetful. I may forget things. My hair, I'm feeling dizziness in my head now, out of so much the amount of work I have to complete before Madeline comes to that room. So now let me go. I have to go. Wait here, my child. You keep waiting for me with patience. Kneel in prayer. And also, not only very patiently you wait for me, you keep praying also. Kneel down on your knees and you pray. The while means till I come back. Ah, thou must needs the lady wed. You need to marry the lady. You need to wed the lady. If I am not successful in my mission, then I also should not find peace in my grave. After my death, I should not get my emancipation, liberation, salvation. No resurrection for me. If I do not, if I'm not successful in my mission. So saying this, look what happens in stanza number 21. So saying, she hobbled off with busy fear. The lover's endless minutes slowly passed. The dame returned and whispered in his ear to follow her. With aged eyes aghast from fright of dim espial. Full stop. Safe at last, through many a dusky gallery, they gained the maiden's chamber, silken, hushed, and chaste, where Porphyro took covert, pleased Amen. His poor guide hurried back with aches in her brain. So the mission is completed. So first she goes away hobbling off, her walking, shuffling and hobbling. These words, they are so expressive. These words can be enacted out. I wish again I was in the offline class and I could enact these two words, shuffling and hobbling. She hobbled off with busy fear. How can fear be busy? It is a fallacy. But what poet is trying to say, she is fearful also and she is very busy also. The lover's endless minutes slowly passed. Here, Porphyro's time is not passing. Jokingly, I always tell my students in the class, when you know the questions in your examination, your moments pass very fast. But when you don't know the answer and you have to kill your 3 hours, then the moments become endless. So same is happening with Porphyro. The moments are endless for him because that waiting is very painful for him. But the dame returned. Then the dame returns and whispers in his ear to follow her. Angela asks him to follow her. And Angela, with her big, big eyes, the old protruded eyes, she's looking aghast, very fearful. She's trying to, and she's very frightened, hope, she's praying nobody should see them together. Or it will be end of both of them. Safe at last. So it has to happen, it had to happen and both of them safely land up where? To the chamber of Madeline. Through many a dusky gallery. It is a big mansion. कोई छोटा मोटा घर नहीं है. Many galleries had to be crossed. Many corridors had to be crossed, and then they reach the maiden's chamber. And look at these words, silken, hushed, and chaste. The soft, voiceless sounds in this particular line give you a very chaste atmosphere of that room. You can feel A maiden's chamber is silken. All the curtains are silken. Her bed cover must be silken. Her dress, all are silken. Yes. So silken, hushed, and chaste. This beautiful consonance is wonderful. And then Porphyro took cover. Immediately he goes and he hides himself into the closet. Pleased, he's happy now. Amen. Okay, whatever I wished, it happened. His poor guide, who is the poor guide? Angela, hurried back with aches in her brain, with worries in her brain. She hurriedly comes out of Madeline's chamber and thanking Almighty, good that she was not seen, and she is able to help Porphyro in reaching the closet of Madeline's chamber. So we move now again to here, nothing much from explanation point of view, yes, but from description, from narrative point of view, from story point of view, we find that Porphyro is coming closer and closer to Madeline by reaching her chamber. Now we move to stanza number 22. I plan to finish up to 25 today because in given time I have to complete the poem and get your feedback too. Though I plan, let's see whether I'm able to do or not, because I need to save 10 minutes again today for you all. So 22. Now, please pay attention. I find this stanza very sweet. You know, an old person being taken care of by a young person. You know, there is when I read this poem, you know, we can interpret it in so many ways. It is the old lady is protecting the youth here, Madeline and Porphyro, and Madeline also is very concerned for Angela. So you will find that love and care of Madeline for Angela in this particular stanza. Her faltering hand upon the balustrade, old Angela was feeling for the stair. When Madeline, St. Agnes's charmed maid, rose like a missioned spirit unaware, with silver tapers light and pious care, she turned, and down the aged gossip led to a safe level matting. Full stop. I need not repeat again and again, but I have been telling you to be very, very particular about the punctuation marks of the poem. To a safe level matting, now prepare, young Porphyro, for gazing on that bed. She comes again, like ring dove frayed and fled. Beautiful psychology of Porphyro also is displayed in these lines. One person who is not aware of what all has conspired is Madeline. Angela and Porphyro, both of them are in hand in gloves. So, but poor thing, Madeline is not aware of it. Her faltering hand upon the balustrade, very picturesque. She's trying to hold the railing of the staircase, feeling it, trying to have a grip on it. She's a very old lady, difficult to walk. And she's feeling for the stair. बिल्कुल थाप के चल रही है. एक सीढ़ी से दूसरी सीढ़ी पे उतरने में, she's very cautious, very careful. She should not fall down. So slowly she is getting down the staircase. When Madeline poet is not satisfied with only saying Madeline. Who is Madeline? Madeline is St. Agnes's charmed maid. She's charmed by St. Agnes. She's loved by St. Agnes because St. Agnes is going to grant her the boon. St. Agnes is going to grant her her wishes. So she is a most affectionate, favorable person of St. Agnes. Rose like a missioned spirit, she appears to be like a spirit, like a missioned spirit. She doesn't look like a human figure, human personality. She looks like as if she herself is St. Agnes. like a mission spirit, she gets up to go to her chamber, unaware. She's unaware of who is in the chamber already. With silver tapers light, she's holding a candle in her hand, and she starts walking to her chamber. And pious care, with silver tapers light and pious care, she turned with full care, with very pious care. She holds Angela from the staircase and brings her down. हाथ पकड़ के उसको उतार के सतह पे ले आती है. She brings her on the floor. She comes on the. She makes sure that Angela is properly comes on the floor to save level matting. उसको उतार दिया नीचे सावधानी से. There is full stop. And who is waiting impatiently is Porfido. Now Porfido. Young Porfido. Look at the quick repetition of his name. Now Porfido, young Porfido, for gazing on that bed. He wants to gaze continuously, wants to see someone on that bed. In his imagination, many times she has flown on her bed. She comes again. Like ring dove frayed and fled. A fearful here ring dove. This ring dove means it's a bird, very soft bird, but very frightened. Ring dove are wood pigeon. इसको कबूतर कहते हैं. She is like a ring dove, has a ring on her neck. And when a bird flies into the nest, what happens? वो बिल्कुल फड़फड़ाते हुए उड़ के आराम से अपने घोंसले में चली जाती है. Similarly, Porfido imagines Merlin to come on the bed, frayed and fled. Afraid, but she flies to her bed. This happened in his imagination. Now he wants really to happen, and the moment has come when she really will come to her room. And I swear, the stanza following is something, again, is the observation of the poet. I mean, we all should admire and appreciate how observant the poet is, how well adept he is in making his poem real, authentic, graphic, vivid. I mean, it is fantastic. Out went the taper as she hurried in. Its little smoke in pallid moonshine died. Sense of sight. She closed the door, she panted, all akin to spirits of the air. And visions wide, no uttered syllable or woe betide, but to her heart was voluble, paining with eloquence her balmy sight, as though a tongueless nightingale should swell her throat in vain and die heart stifled in her death. Again, the last lines are important for explanation, because a nice simile he gives, and also there's a reference of a past story, past incident. See what happens, what takes place. Now, out went the taper as she hurried in. She's holding the candle in her hand. And when she sees her nest, when she sees her chamber, she hurriedly tries to enter. और वो जो जल्दी से अपने कमरे में घुसती है तो क्या होता है? मोमबत्ती बुझ जाती है. Out went the taper as she hurried in. Its little smoke in pallid moonshine died. A very, very vivid description. When the candle blows out, it has a small smoke on it. And that smoke in that pale moonlight, it dies out. जो छोटा सा उसका धुआं जैसा निकलता है मोमबत्ती से, वो भी विलीन होते हुए दिखता है. I'm sure if you are attentive and you are trying to understand such descriptions, tell you, as if the eve of Syntagnus' poem, while writing this poem, Keats was experiencing everything. Everything was happening before his eyes. This is what imagination sees as beauty. Where the imagination works at the highest level, you get such real pictures. She closed the door. She panted. Jor se saans liya. She panted. She sighed. Nice. You are also imagining that is the success of John Keats of writing this poem. Its little smoke in pallid moonshine died. She closed the door. She panted, all akin to spirits in the air. Keats, while describing Porphyro, he has described him to be very playful. For Porphyro, everything is fair in love, war, and politics. He tries all kinds of tricks, but Madeline, a very divine, sweet, soft, a very religious, God-fearing. She has been portrayed as if she herself has turned into Saint Agnes. She is the second version of Saint Agnes. And what happens? She is like the spirits of the air. वो धरती की कम, आसमान की ज़्यादा लग रही है. She is akin to the spirits of the air, all visions wide. Everything is, the entire vision is so vivid, clear. The condition of this ritual is she is not supposed to utter a word. She is not supposed to say anything. No uttered syllable. What to talk of words? Syllable भी नहीं बोलना है. Word का टुकड़ा भी नहीं बोलना है. No uttered syllable or woe betide. The entire day's effort will go in vain if she utters a syllable of a word. She is not allowed by the ritual to utter a word. No uttered syllable, but to her heart. Her heart was voluble. उसका जो heart है वो full of eloquence. She's dying to speak. So much to speak, so much to say, so much she has experienced. So much excitement there is in her heart, but her lips are closed. Her lips are shut. She cannot talk. Her condition is like poet is comparing her with a nightingale, tongueless nightingale. I feel like comparing her with a balloon which is full of air in it, and somebody is holding the tip of the balloon, and the tip of the balloon, the mouth of the balloon is dying to open, and all the air wants to go out. Similarly, if just now Madeline will be allowed to speak, she will have lots to say. So what happens? Her heart is voluble, full of eloquence, paining with eloquence her bony side. Her sides, it is paining of eloquence. बोलने के लिए छटपटा रही है. She is dying to speak. Her condition, look at this simile. Her condition is like that tongueless nightingale. जिसके गले में तो मधुर स्वर है. Up to in the throat, she has the song, the music, that nightingale. Poor thing, but doesn't have the tongue, so cannot sing. So the ritual has made Madeline tongueless. So that the reference of that nightingale who died in her dell, in her valley, trying to sing and couldn't sing because she was tongueless. Similarly, Madeline is trying to speak, wants to speak, but ritual has made her tongueless. Beautiful comparison and description here. Now the stanza. Now here you will find John Keats like a painter, like an artist, as if he's writing the words and he has a canvas before him, he has a brush in his hand and he's painting it on the canvas also. So the stanza which I'm going to explain now, read now, talk about the stanza now, is a painting on a canvas. And your sense of sight. I tell you that it is such a wonderful senseless poem that everything, why, though it is needless to say, but I always, I love to repeat this here before you also, that in offline classes, I used to take the chalk in the hand and put this stanza on the board, draw the stanza on the board. It is so picturesque. So now in this online class, I can't do now, but with my explanation, I want you to feel the picture. I want you to feel the painting. So pay attention and look at the words on your page. Stanza number 14 I'm talking of. 24 I'm talking of. A casement high and triple arched there was, all garlanded with carven imageries of fruits and flowers and bunches of knot grass, and diamonded with panes of quaint device, innumerable of stains and splendid dyes, as are the tiger moth's deep damasked wings, and in the midst, among thousand heraldries and twilight saints and dim emblazonings, a shielded scutcheon blushed with bloods of queens and kings. Lovely. Stanza 24. Yes, one student writes here, it's a beautiful painting in stanza 24. A casement high and triple arch. There is, you have to imagine the chamber of Madeline. ये कोई छोटा मोटा कमरा नहीं है. It's a huge chamber of a baron's house. So what we notice here, a casement high, the window is very high, and it has triple arched. The design on it has triple arched on it. Dhanushakar. All garlanded with carven imageries, and those arches have got the images of, and those are carved. मतलब लकड़ी पे उसका carving किया हुआ है इस पे. The designs have been carved on it. And the carving is done of what? What is the design made of? Of fruits and flowers and bunches of knot grass. The grasses, with knotted grass, the design is made of the flowers of fruits. You can imagine those arches are made of, are carved in images of fruits, flowers, and knot grasses, bunches of knot grasses. I mean, I can just see before my eyes how that casement is looking. And the window now. See the window pane. उसमें जो शीशा लगा हुआ है, and diamonded with panes of quaint device of very different colors. The designs are diamonded. Diamonded means उस पर ऐसे design बने हुए हैं of diamond shape also and of different colors. The window pane, the window panes are of different colors. The glass the glass we notice is of different colors. Innumerable of stains. एक दो ही रंग नहीं है, बहुत सारे रंग हैं. Innumerable of stains and splendid dyes. Beautiful, very beautiful colors we can see on that on that window, on the glass of the window. Poet is not satisfied only in saying this. He goes further. कैसा है? Now he has to compare it. So some beautiful similes he will. For as are the tiger moth's deep damasked wings. There is an insect, a moth, वो थोड़ा कैसा होता है तितली की तरह. Or what type of wing it has? It is called tiger moth. Now imagine the black and yellow, the black stripe on tiger's body. tiger's hide. And how bright the tiger you have seen in William Blake's poem. In Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience, we find this. The tiger moth is an insect. The wings of the tiger moth is like tiger's body, the colors of tiger body, that is yellow and black. Deep damask wings, so that moth's wings are having deep jet black and shining yellow. And in the midst, among 1,000 heraldries, again 1,000. Keats is very generous in using, he becomes very happy when he uses the hyperbole of 1,000. Among 1,000 heraldries, these historical figures, that room has got the history, Khandan. And twilight saints, so there are the pictures of the forefathers there, showing the heraldry of that clan, of Baron's family. We find the twilight saints. The saints, twilight, how? Because, and it is all, Keats is just playing with the colors. He's doing nothing, he's playing with the colors with whatever he's describing. वो पोर्ट्रेट तो हैं, पर कैसे हैं? वो जो रंग पड़ रहे हैं खिड़की से उन पे, so they are getting extra colors. They are becoming more beautiful. And twilight saints and dim emblazonings. They have got, because through the window different colors are passing, they are making third color also. So when on those, they are creating a design. Emblazoning here is the designs made by the lights. A shielded scutcheon blushed with blood of queens and queens. And there is an area marked in that room where all the shields and armors, etc. are displayed. And in that area also the light is falling. तो ऐसा लग रहा है स्कशियन को देखकर, शील्ड्स को देखकर, मानो अभी वो रक्त रंजित हुए हैं. किससे? With the bloods of queens and kings. Superb description we find in stanza number 4, and how well the poet he has a brush in his hand and a pen also. In one hand he's holding a pen, as if in the other hand he's a painting brush. तो कलर्स भी बिखेर रहे हैं और वर्ड्स के थ्रू कविता भी लिख रहे हैं. So fantastic. This is stanza number 24 is. And I would like to stop today, hoping tomorrow I'll be I'll spend more time on explaining. But up to stanza number 24, we have completed today. I always wish to save some time for your questions, and I liked the way you write your questions. You send through messages. It becomes very convenient. It is noiseless, and what happens is I'm able to answer that also. So now these 10 minutes are yours. You can write your observation. If you want me to explain anything, I would. There's no point rushing through the poem, rather than the things should be very, very clear to you. So not many students are there, it seems. So whosoever are there, please, you all are. Now your time is yours. Can write your observation, question, remark, whatever you want to say, and ask me. Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
What do you mean by eve of St. Agnes?
What do I mean? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Were you present in last 2 classes, or today you have joined? Have you joined today, or were you present in the last 2 classes? Because this is my 3rd class today.
No, ma'am. आज first दिन है मैं इस क्लास में.
हाँ, यही मैं समझ गई. आपके क्वेश्चन से ही समझ गई कि this is the first day. The Eve of St. Agnes is the name of the poem, the title of the poem, and St. Agnes is a saint, And there are certain rituals observed on this particular day. जैसे Christmas होता है. And what is Christmas? Christmas is the birthday of Jesus Christ. Similarly, St. Agnes's Day is the day of St. Agnes. And that day, the maiden girls observe certain rituals. So the poem is dedicated in the name of St. Agnes. So it is named St. Agnes. The eve of St. Agnes on the occasion of St. Agnes. This is what is meant. Yes, the next question. I think the questions which are coming from the students have not been present in the previous two classes. First, I want the regular students to ask me. I'll get back to you because again, you are asking me the story of St. Agnes. So this again, all this I have done it in detail in my previous classes. Okay, what is shielded scutcheon? Now this is my student asking. Shielded scutcheons. Shielded actually, scutcheons are also, here there is a repetition. Shields, scutcheons are shields. But here when his poet uses shielded scutcheon, while he is repeating this, the whole idea is to tell the special effects those shields get through the lights. So this is a sort of shielded scutcheons means they are the shields and armors all kept together in an area where different light is following. So basically they are armors and shields. Yes.
Ma'am, what characters of Keats' poetry are revealed in
What are the characteristics revealed in the poem? You are asking.
Yes, ma'am.
I think all the questions which are coming have been already discussed, but in brief, I will again repeat. It is always good to revise things. The characteristics. The characteristics are in the elements in the poem we find. It is a love poem, it is a romantic poem, it is a medieval poem, it is a sensuous poem. It is a beautiful, it has got beautiful narrative elements in it, in the sense it has got a storyline in it, and the other characteristics are that it has the theme of love and death. We find the contrast between coldness and warmth. The outer atmosphere is extremely cold, but we feel the warmth of love of the characters. Of Angela, we get the love. We see the love and care of Beatsman. We see the love and care of Madeline. We see the love and care of St. Agnes. So these are the characteristics. And love and death, because the lovers will elope, and both the characters, Angela and Beatsman, will find them dying in the end. Pallid moonshine and heart stifled. Okay. Pallid moonlight is, in the room you won't get the moonlight as bright as it is outside. So they are pale. It is not so bright. So when Keats wants to tell us that the light is not so bright, they are pale, he uses these adjectives. Now, heart stifled. Her throat in vain and thy heart stifled. Stifle kar dena matlab daboch dena. So she is, the heart is really, really suffocating. Suffocation is being described through it, how she is suffocating to talk, to utter the syllable, to utter the words, to speak. So that nightingale had voice in the throat, eloquence in the heart, music in the heart, but didn't have the tongue. So that was, everything was it was suffocating in her heart, in the heart of Nightingale. So was the case with Madeline. All right, anything else? Otherwise, I would like to...
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning. Carry on.
Ma'am, what is the supernatural element of the poem?
Supernatural element. Okay. और पढ़िए अभी और आगे आइएगा तो that supernatural elements you will find it will be displayed. But since you have put the question now, supernatural elements कहते किसको हैं? First, you should understand that. You find the poet is describing the fairies, the elves. He's bringing the characters from the past. He is talking of Saint Agnes. He is talking. You will towards the end of the poem, you will find such gothic experiences you will have when they will be eloping. The supernatural power will help them in flying away from that mansion. So the supernatural is जो human नहीं है. जब प्राकृतिक रूप से आप किसी और शक्ति से जब आप मदद पाते हैं तो वो उसको सुपरनैचुरल एलिमेंट कहते हैं.
Ma'am, what are the some?
Emblazonings. Okay. Don't unmute. So many of you are unmuting yourself. Then the voice will. You won't get everything. जो पूछते हैं वही अनम्यूट कीजिए और फिर बंद कर लीजिए.
Ma'am, what are the some forms of imaginary and symbolism associated with the bedchamber scene?
With the chambers?
Bedchamber scene, ma'am. When the bedchamber scenes you are touting us, then.
Oh. So, no, I couldn't get your question. What is the symbolism there, you mean?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
There is no symbolism as such there in the bed in the chamber, but the effect of that chamber is it is very rich aristocratic ambience that chamber has. That has been shown by Keats with the silken curtains, that hushed and chaste atmosphere, and the symbolism working there is of divinity, is of piousness, is of chasteness, is of chastity. Yet one student is time and again asking me about the tiger moth. The very name tiger itself tells you. अब किसी ने पक्का बाघ देखा तो नहीं होगा रियल बाघ, लेकिन पिक्चर में आपने देखा है. You have seen the tigers. The tigers have black stripes on them, on the body. They are yellow with black stripes. Now this tiger moth gets the name tiger because it has got the stripe on it on its wing like the tiger. So it is called tiger moth. And why the poet has used it? To show the bright colors falling on the things of the room. So the brightness of the tiger moth can be felt in the room. The different colors that are displayed in the room. I think it is the time is over today. Before your net also starts troubling you, over to Sanket if he is here with us. And tomorrow, same time, we will continue with the rest of the 8 or 9 stanzas tomorrow. So happy law. Hope you all learned properly. And
thank you so much, ma'am.
But yes, lovely. God bless all of you. All of you. Amazing message. But I'm a little sad, and I want to share that with the coordinator of our online classes.
Yes, ma'am.
My
please.
student Sanket.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
That the number of students are falling down, Sanket. So that is a matter of bit concern.
Ma'am, perhaps due to...
I'm sure they are facing the issues with net.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is unfortunate that so much pain you have taken in organizing things, but ultimately the department has taken so much effort. But the first day they were 100, and now I find them becoming lesser and lesser. So you invite them again. Thank you so much, Sanket.
Thank you
for giving me the opportunity to have interaction with the students.
Yes,
you can conclude now.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, I too have felt it. Perhaps in the first session today there were some technical issues and people could not listen to our speaker properly. That is why most of
But
them have left.
was I heard? Was I heard
Yes, ma'am.
properly?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. There
Okay,
was no
all right,
problem
all
at all.
right.
Thank you
Okay,
for your
okay.
dedication. Thank you for your intellectual discourse and how you take things is inspirational for me. Thank you, ma'am.
So, okay, thank you so much, Sanket. And thanks to all the students. Tomorrow, please ask your friends to join the class. And tomorrow, again at 11, I'll be there for you. Okay, God bless all of you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Are you facing some other problems apart from network issues related to these classes? Are there any other problems?
No, sir.
No. Are classes helpful? Do you find them helpful? Ashish Anand, what is your observation? Are these classes helpful for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then share with your friends. I know these days people want shortcuts, and these are how we learn things. Now most of the students rely on guess papers and question banks, but this is how we people learn from our teachers, and I tried my utmost to provide you that experience. It is a very rich experience when you dive deep into literature, when you try to understand and learn things for yourself. You don't have only to pass your examination but to learn new things every day.
Excuse me, sir. Sound is not clear.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.